Hey guys, I saw this picture. It's actually a video, but I saw the picture and I just want to elaborate on it a little. Not that anyone really cares about what I think about it. I know y'all don't care, but I just want to elaborate on it a little. Because in a situation like this, um, we don't always get to choose in that type of situation. However, some of us are placed in situations where, we have to do favors for someone who is in this picture. So let's talk about what we're seeing here. So as you can see, the father, the son, and the husband, they're falling over a cliff, and the wife has to choose who she's going to let go. Now, it is a very uncomfortable situation. Very, very uncomfortable. Uncomfortable, sorry. Nobody wants to lose their father, nobody wants to lose their husband, and nobody wants to lose their son. I get it. But if I am placed in a situation like that, I know I said it's uncomfortable, but I just have to choose. Now, for me, as painful as it is to see the man who makes it possible for me to be here, as painful as it is for me to see him go, I just have to let him go. Why? Because when the Bible talks about family life, it says a husband should leave his leave his mother and father and cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So it means that me and my husband becomes one. So me letting go of my husband to fall and die over a cliff is like me pushing myself over that cliff. It's like me taking my own life. That's so suicidal, you know? And I'm like, I could never live my life feeling comfortable. Like, I could never be happy. I know I could never be happy not having my dad around me. I could never be happy. But I just have to manage. I just have to manage living my life without him. Because at no point the Bible ever said that I am one with my father. At no point it ever says I'm one with my mother. I know it says, when my mother and father forsake me, then the Lord will take me up. Not saying that my husband cannot forsake me too, but it's even more possible for my mother and father to forsake me than my husband. Yeah, some of you might say, what are you saying, girl? Yeah, because in a generation like this, people are attracting toxic men. And so they believe that every man is the same. They believe that there's no good husband, there's no loyal husband, there's no true husband out there. It's because you have never attracted one. Doesn't mean that they don't exist. Okay? So, what I'm trying to say is, you have to do what's best for you and your family that God bless you with. You must protect your family at all cost. And if it means you got to let go one of your relatives to protect your family, that's what you got to do. If it means you got to disassociate yourself or disconnect yourself from fake friends and fake families. That's what you got to do. If that's what you got to do, you got to do it. You get what I'm saying? So, for certain, he got to go. He got to go. Because my family comes first. And I got to protect my family at all cost. I've got to do that. I don't know about y'all, but I've got to do that. My son, my family. I love my family. My husband, I love my husband. So I'm going to do anything to protect them. Period. When you're a child, there are some things that your parents are allowed to do for you as their child. There's some things that they can do for you that no boyfriend or husband can do for you. Why? Because they are your parents and you are their responsibility. But the moment you take on a spouse and get married to that spouse and become one with that spouse, there are things that your parents cannot do for you no more because you are now your spouse's responsibility. So that is the seriousness of it. There's some things that only your spouse can do for you when you get older. Because if you live with your spouse and you suddenly became ill, your parents is not going to travel all the way from where they are just to come and take care of you. They're going to tell you plain and straight, you got a spouse to do that. You are not their responsibility. So you see why I tell you, you have to protect your family that God has blessed you with at all costs. You got to protect your family at all costs. And you have to make your family a priority. Because when you see your spouse, you don't see friends, you don't see family, and you may not see parents. So protect your spouse at all costs and protect the family that God has blessed you with.